What is up, guys? My name is Elias Luukkonen and this is my in the bag for the 2023 season. Welcome! Note that we have a giveaway on Instagram for this in the bag video, so if you're interested in winning one of these or 4 other Discmania discs, check MDG Media and Elias Luukkonen Instagram for the giveaway. Let's get into the video. So I am actually using the D-line Flex 2 P1 for my putting, mostly because it's a good straight flyer. I can put it just on a flat line and it will pretty much hold straight. It also has some small stability, so even in a little bit of a headwind it's probably not gonna turn over too much. I love the slightly lower profile than some other putters. It comes out of the hand clean most of the times. Then to my throwing putters, I have this very old D-line P2. This has been used for multiple years now. You can see it's like extremely worn in. It's an old Innova-made D-line P2. Mostly use it for forehand approaches actually. Not really a shot I would ever use on the course voluntarily, but if I'm in some big trouble I'm probably gonna pull this out and throw it for some sort of forehand flip up or even a roller. My main approach disc is the SENSEI. I have 2 of them. Blue one is slightly more understable and this yellow one is just pretty much dead straight. I love this run of SENSEI because they're really flat, so I get a good release on them. The lifespan of these discs is incredibly long. I have been using these same ones for like 3 years now and they're still good, and I just feel very comfortable with this disc. Always seems to find its way where I want it to go. I have 4 discs that I would consider approach discs. First one of them being a hard Exo Tactic. This one is also quite beat in. I use it mainly for forehands. Actually never throw this disc for backhand. Pretty much straight with the slightest finish to the right. It's another disc that is just really comfortable in the hand. It's got flat profile and just a lot of good throws behind it. And then more overstable version of that disc is the Razor Claw 3. This one, compared to the other one, I only use this one for backhands. So if I have a backhand approach that needs to go straight and slightly to the left at the end, I would probably use this one. Very consistent disc, doesn't really glide that much. So if I need to control the distance and move straight with a little finish, I would probably take this one. And then the 2 most overstable ones, these ones I use both for backhand and for forehand. I have the old but gold, as they say, Neo Mutant, one of my favorite discs in the bag for sure. It's just, it's been in the bag for 2 years already, but it's still very overstable. So any sort of flex shot, spike hyzer approach, whenever once again, when I need to really control the distance, if there's a big headwind, I would probably approach with this disc over any other disc. And then, the newest addition to my bag is this sweet Team Discmania stamp MD5. It has a really good feel to it. It's kind of similar to the Mutant, but it's just a tad bit more glidey. So where that Mutant usually comes up a little bit short if I throw it on some longer shots, this one has got a little bit more glide. I can probably push it towards even 90 meters if I throw it really hard. Just really good for both forehand and for backhand. This is one of the most comfortable discs for me right now. Even though I put it in the bag like 3 days ago, it's still one of my favorites for sure. I have 3 discs that I consider mid-ranges. They're all MD3s, and actually all of them are in the color glow plastic. My oldest one is this very old Crescent Crowned Eagle MD3. It's very flat. My girlfriend drew on it for a bit. It gives me some good karma. This is just a really understable mid-range. If I need a soft turnover shot that really never fades back, I would probably use this one. Also for some forehand flip-ups, it's a very good feeling disc in the hand. And then I have these two Iron Samurai 3s. It's a really good run of the MD3, I feel. They're starting off a little bit stable, so if I need to go straight with a slight left finish or just like a soft hyzer shot, I would probably grab this one. And then this other one, more worn in, it's becoming a little bit understable, so if I need to throw some of those beautiful straight hyzer flip to flat shots or some small turnovers, I would probably grab this disc. And I usually don't throw my mid-range super hard, but this is actually a disc I am comfortable with throwing very hard. So if I have to throw a long mid-range, maybe like 110, even 115 sometimes, I would probably grab one of these, since they have some really good glide. I have 4 discs that I consider fairway drivers for myself. Most understable one being a regular C-line FD. It's understable, but it's not super flippy. I actually just lost my flippy FD, so this one has a lot of work. Good hyzer flip disc. I usually throw this on a small hyzer pretty hard and get it to flip and turn over just slightly. Don't use it that much on open courses, but whenever I'm playing in the woods, then it's a good disc to have. And then I have 2 FD3s. These are some pretty old ones, both with a relatively flat profile. They feel really good in the hand, especially for forehands. And that's actually what I use this orange one for. It's been in the bag for a long time. Very flat, pretty straight with a small finish actually with a forehand. So it's not that overstable for being an FD3. No, I don't really throw it for backhands, but for forehands it's one of the most comfortable discs I have. And then this Glow C-line one. This is more overstable and even a little bit flatter. I use this one mostly for backhands. Don't really use it for forehands unless I need just a little bit more stability than the orange one. It has a good release for me on the backhand, so whenever I grab this disc, I'm pretty confident that I will throw a good shot. I use it for some hyzers, some flat shots that need to fade, or if I have a big headwind and just need to throw a straight shot, this is a good disc for that. And then the last fairway driver, the most overstable. No surprises here probably. It's a Neo SPLICE, just a really beefy disc. I can grip onto this disc as hard as I want to, throw it on an anhyzer, flat or hyzer. No matter what angle, it will always fight back and land on a big hyzer angle. One of the most trustworthy discs in the bag. This will never flip over in any wind or any situation. Then I have some discs which I don't consider fairway drivers, but I don't also consider them distance drivers, and that would be the PD. I have 3 PDs in my bag. Let's start with the most understable one. It's this old S-line PD. Really nice feeling run. You know, it was one of the Domir ones. So this is very beat in, it's quite understable. I use it mostly for some long turnover shots. If I need to get good distance and still stay on the fairway, I'm not very comfortable with a distance driver. I would probably grab one of these, and specifically this one if I need that right turn. So very, very comfortable disc. Shout out to Daniel Davidsson for giving it to me. Then I have this C-line this time. This is actually a funny story. This used to be Eagle McMahon's disc. You can see the logo on the bottom. He gave it to Håkon Kveseth, a Norwegian legendary player, and he gave it to Tom Erik Steen, another great friend of mine, and I got it from Tom. So it's had a long journey to come to me, but this is another just beautifully flying disc. I can throw it flat and it will turn over just a little bit. I can throw it on a hyzer, it will go straight. And even if I need a very glidey hyzer, I can put it on a more hyzer and it will just gradually fade to the left. It's very flat and might be one of my new favorite discs. I actually got it just a couple weeks ago, but already feeling a lot of trust to this one. probably my most consistently thrown PD. I throw this during pretty much every round I play. It's the NORDIC FAIRWAY new Swirly S-line PD. This is just a very flat run of the PD. I love the flight, it's straight with the slightest finish to the left. So even if it's a bit of a headwind, it's not gonna turn over. I can just trust this disc in every situation. It feels incredible in the hand. Has a really good, it's not super hard plastic actually. It's kind of soft, and that's why I like it, you know. Even if it's not super warm outside, I can get a great grip on this one. Definitely one of my favorite discs. And shout out Niklas Anttila, teammate. Alright, let's move to the distance drivers, which are some of my most controversial discs, but also some of my favorites. Let me expand on that real quick. I have 6 distance drivers, going from very understable to very overstable. Let's start with the most understable. So I have an old S-line DD3, it's very worn in. I've used this one for 3 years already. It started off being pretty straight, but now it's very flippy. There's a lot of rounds where I never pull it out of the bag just because it's so flippy. I either need to be throwing a roller, or there needs to be a big tailwind, or I just need to be throwing a huge sky anhyzer. So not a very often used one, but when I use it, it's always the perfect disc. Then probably my favorite one out of these, or at least the most used one, it's another S-line DD3. This is not flippy, but it's understable. It's understable, I can throw it flat, it's gonna turn over and hold, and then maybe just at the end fade a little bit. I use this for both forehands and for backhands. I think it's probably my furthest flying disc right now, and it flies far, but it doesn't really lose that much accuracy. So I can throw this disc comfortably up to, you know, 150. If I really need to push it 160, then that is, I guess, possible. Then the next one in the stability order would be this Cloudbreaker. It's just a tad bit more overstable than the last one. This is still slightly understable, so I can throw it pretty much on the slightest hyzer, gonna flip up the flat, fly straight and get that big finish to the left. It's a very far flying disc once again, but it's kind of in between stabilities that I usually use, so this one is not so commonly used. If I ever have a bit of a headwind and need to still throw a kind of a straight shot, I would probably take this one. Or if I just want to throw a big hyzer, either with backhand or with forehand, it doesn't really matter to me. Then I have a C-line DD3. This one is pretty special, it's actually a prototype. Not many of these going around right now, and it's just a really good overstable run of DD3. I mean, it used to be very overstable. Now it's beating in, it's pretty much straight with a good finish. It doesn't really turn over, so if I have a small headwind and I want some good control, I'll probably grab this one. It's not as far flying as the other ones I just showed you, but it's very controllable. Anything for some big hyzers, or as I said, straight to left finish. It's very good for that disc. Don't really use it for forehands that much, so if I ever have an overstable forehand, I would probably use this one instead. The new Golden Horizon Cloudbreaker. This is a very nice overstable run of the DD3. This one, I got it just 4 days ago when I went to the Discmania warehouse for the first time actually. Out of the box this was straight, and then earlier than I expected, it takes like a big fade to the left with the backhand, obviously to the right with the forehand. It's a very comfortable feeling one. It has this bit of a softer plastic, so I can really grip onto it, both with the backhand and with the forehand. And it's gained a lot of trust in these first 4 days already. And even here on the Beast at European Open, I'm comfortable with throwing this disc into some big headwinds. And also some shorter, more overstable forehands if I just want to throw it smooth and get that very big finish to the right. And the last disc in my bag might be one of the most special ones and important ones. It's a prototype metal flake C-line PD2. It's just a very overstable run of the PD2. I can always trust this disc. I usually use it for some bigger hyzers, you know, if I need to throw a flat shot or a slight hyzer that just finishes to the left very consistently. It's super flat on the top, so good for some side-arm flex shots, side-arm spike hyzers. This is kind of the disc I use probably the most out of all my distance drivers. Very consistent finish, very consistent flight overall. If I didn't have this disc, I would be screwed on a lot of courses. So yeah, I think that's my last disc. Wanna give a shout out to this Mini. I forgot the name of the guy who gave it to me, but in Belgian Open there was this old disc collector guy who gave me this Mini, and it's an awesome one. It has some good glide, you know, stays in the air well, and I feel comfortable using it. It looks pretty cool. It has this cat with a disc, and yeah, probably gonna use it until I lose it, which inevitably will happen pretty soon, I think. Alright guys, thank you for watching my In the Bag for the 2023 season. It was a pleasure to do this with MDG Media. If you like the production, you should subscribe and like to this video. Also note that there's a big giveaway going on in both of my and MDG Media's Instagram, so if you're interested in getting some new fresh Discmania discs, check that out. Thank you guys for watching, and see you on the course.